G'day guys, how you doing? It's Kiwi back with another video. So before I get going on doing the video about when I died, left my body, all that sort of stuff, there's something that came across my mind, came across me over the period of this week that I feel is an incredibly important thing that we should all do as human beings, male or female, doesn't matter. I believe that this should be done at the level of the education system. This should be something that's done at the level of school. So teachers and parents and, individuals can actually understand themselves a lot more than what they usually do. And that is to get a personality profile test done, like one of the Myers-Briggs personality profile tests. And the reason why I say that, and the younger the better, to be quite honest, because, in all sincerity, we don't have a handbook in this world. We come into this world and we have two parents, God bless them, they're trying to do the best that they can. Some can knock the ball out of the park as far as guiding and directing their kids, and unfortunately some struggle and others fail. And it's not their fault. I feel that we're not educated in regards to who we are as individuals at a younger level. And I feel if we could do a personality profile test, it would give us the opportunity to actually understand who we are. It gives us just that little extra step in the right direction. It gives us that head start in life. And instead of us being continually put in boxes in regards to who we are, as we start to understand who our personality profile, who we are as an individual, it gives us the ability to actually expand on a base. A personality profile test is just a base for us to start with. And then you can work out from that point. Sadly today in the education system, we're all put into boxes. We're all taught the same thing. We all have to pass the same exams. We all have to, do specific things. They're in such a tightly controlled box that we're just producing, mindless minions today, in large. And I feel that doing a personality profile test really, really helps an individual expand on the knowledge of themselves. I was fortunate enough to do one many years ago, and I kind of turned my back on the information that came from that. A buddy of mine worked for the DEA at the time, and he thought it'd be a bit of a hoot to just do a personality profile test and an aptitude test just to see where I'd fall and what I'd be good and bad at and everything like that. And I actually came back with a very, very unique personality profile, and that would be an INFJ with a twist to it, or a couple of twists actually. One of those twists you would call by today's standards a Sigma. And, because it was so long ago, I turned my back on that information. And what happened is just recently, in the last few months, I've started to kind of dive back into what my personality is, what my personality profile is. And the reason why I did this is, I wanted to answer certain questions in regards to why do certain things constantly happen? Why do certain things constantly show up? Why am I X, Y, or Z, and all this sort of stuff. And it's been an incredibly positive thing to do, because it's taken a huge amount of weight off my shoulders. In today's world, on the internet, what we see is, hang on a second, what a noisy little shitbox that thing is. So in today's world, in the manosphere, what we see is a lot of this player stuff. Guys out there that have channels trying to teach people to how to get women and try to teach men how to be X, Y, or Z. You've got people like Jordan Peterson, who's written a couple of books on 12 rules on how you should live your life and everything like that. But I'm still yet to see Peterson talk about getting a Myers-Briggs personality profile test done. He might have, and if he has, I apologize, but I see so many of these individuals talking a lot about, hey, if you do this, if you do that, or if you do this, do that. What I see people getting young guys to do and young women to do is, if the channel, the person that's running the channel is, let's say, X, what I'm seeing is a lot of individuals are getting guys and girls to do what they do, live like I live, this is how I am, etc., etc., etc. And there's so many misgivings in regards to that information. You are intrinsically yourself. You are intrinsically who you are as an individual. And by doing a personality profile test like that and an aptitude test, what it does is it gives you a base. It doesn't mean you have to stay on that base for the entirety of your life, but it gives you something to build on. Like, for argument's sake, as far as being an INFJ, one of the things that I'm very good at is being artistic. So my artistic side shows up in the work that I do. And that was just something that I naturally fell into, as far as, the metal fabrication, building custom cars, hot rods, that sort of stuff. So I'm able to utilize that as an outlet in regards to my artistic side. Now, there's other aspects to my personality that we will actually talk about as we go on in videos and everything in other videos. But primarily because I want to help other INFJs. I want INFJs to understand why certain things happen. Like, for argument's sake, I'm a mirror. I become a mirror for everything that people hate about themselves. And that's been an incredibly hard thing to live with, because I can walk into situations and have people just lose their shit on me out of nowhere for no reason at all. I have this happen all the time. It's not just random occurrences. And what it is, if somebody's having a bad time, if there's something that they really, really hate about themselves, when they see me, I just become a mirror. It's just, so for me personally, alone time, to be able to stay away from the public, out of the public sphere, is actually is a safety net for me. When I'm around incredibly toxic people, narcissistic people, it's just incredibly draining. It's emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally draining. It just destroys me from the inside out. That's what happened in New Zealand. I mean, I couldn't get over what was going on in New Zealand. The level of narcissism amongst the population down there was just unbelievable, and it was one of the most disturbing, exhausting things that I've ever had to deal with. That's why when I was finally given the opportunity to get out of that country, when there was only a couple of flights leaving, I bounced. I was gone. And the other huge issue is, because of what happened when I died, when I left my body, crossed over, and I'll do a video about that very, very soon. Certain feelings and emotions in regards to an INFJ, there's certain feelings, intuition, the intuitive side, all that sort of stuff is on absolute steroids with me. And, the element of truth, like how I will just come out with truth, honesty. People have a hard time with that. They really, really do. So I try to be as low-key as possible. That's why I like this platform here, because it gives me an opportunity to be able to talk to individuals without having to have individuals around them. Like, if you put me in, let's say I've got just about 15,000 subscribers right now. If you put me in a stadium with every single subscriber out there, I would not be able to talk to you. I'd have a hard time talking to 5 of you. That's the introverted side of myself. I hate doing that sort of stuff. I just hate, I can't. I can't talk. I stutter. I just lose all focus because I'm picking up on all that energy. But in front of a camera, I have no problem. It's anonymous. It's amazing. It's like I have no problem talking on a camera in any way, shape, or form. So the other thing that I would really highly recommend people doing, once they've done their personality profile test, once they've done their aptitude test, and they have a good direction to go in, there's something else that you can do. And that is what you would call a human design chart. Now, this is a little bit out there in the woo field. But for want of a better term, the solar system that we live in is like a clock. Out of the entire galaxy, of the different realms and everything that are out there, there's 7. What we have in this realm, this earthly realm, is time. So what we actually are born into is like a big time machine, a big clock. And depending on where you're born, the time that you're born, the position of the planet, in the solar system, and it's the sun's solar system, and then the position of everything else in the solar system, and then the position of the solar system in the entire galaxy, plays out to who you are as an individual. And this is getting down into the fine nitty-gritty of who you are as a person. Now, if you think this is woo stuff and out there in left field, what if I told you that the US military invented and built a supercomputer, and it was called Operation Looking Glass? Well, a human design chart is a offshoot of that program. And the elites, the people at the top of the pile, have utilized this Operation Looking Glass, this huge supercomputer, to pretty much predict and play out everything as we know it today. But here's the caveat. After 2012, at the end of 2012, it didn't matter what they put into that supercomputer, the outcome was exactly the same. Like the people at the top of the pile, you know, the families that run the world, the 13 families that run the world, they can't change the direction that humanity's going down now in any way, shape, or form. So the interesting thing about this is if these people were utilizing this Operation Looking Glass, this supercomputer, to help direct the planet and the people and the population to their advantage, why wouldn't you take the opportunity to use that knowledge and that information to your advantage? So you know what's going on in your life, so you know what direction that you can go in, so you know just exactly, you know, what's happening in your world, why this is happening, and the reasons behind it. So you take a personality profile background or a personality profile test with an aptitude test and then combine it with this human design, ladies and gentlemen, you literally have the keys to your kingdom. And it pops you out of this societal box, especially for you young guys, because you got all this pressure, you know, alpha males, beta males, sigma males, this male, that male, all, you know, and everybody, you know, it just blows me away, because I know personally that every one of us is intrinsically different, and I know that for a fact. And you know, I think the reason why a lot of people in this world are so angry, that they're just not happy with their lives and what they're doing, is they've never truly discovered who they are at their core. And when you can actually start, like let's say for argument's sake, you're working your ass off, you're wanting to be a player, but nothing's working for you, okay? You know, you got the nice car, you brought the nice clothes, you're learning all this game and everything from these different YouTube channels, but nothing's working. You know, all that's going to lead to is absolute, utter, pure depression. So if you do a personality profile test and an aptitude test, instead of focusing on chasing something that's out there, you're turning into yourself. You're going into yourself, and when you find these key elements of who you are that will start making sense, things will start clicking inside of you. it takes a huge amount of pressure off you. It takes a huge amount of anxiety out of your life, stress out of your life, and you can actually start to breathe again. And I personally think it's the most, what I've just explained to you in this video are two of the most important things that any human being can do in their life. It doesn't matter if you're a parent of children and you're watching this. Do this for your children. Give them the head start in their lives that you never had. You know, find out if your child's suffering from depression, instead of putting them on medication, find out what it is that their strengths are, what they are good at, and you're going to ignite the spark inside your child. You're going to see a positive outcome in this child's life. I did it for my daughter. I did both the personality profile test for my daughter and a human design chart test. She's just graduated high school. She's just graduated the University of Technology, Nashville, Tennessee, with honors. She was headhunted by the top digital marketing company in the United States. She can digitally commute anywhere around the world for work. She is golden, and the amount of money she's making straight out of the box is mind-blowing. I'm not going to tell you because she's 22 and it's just like, oh my God. But what I did was I gave her a head start in life. I gave her opportunities to understand herself and why she is the way she is and how she operates the way she operates. And it's been one of the greatest gifts that I could have ever possibly given to her. So if I gave it to my own child, I'm suggesting that you give it to yourself. Alrighty? So until the next video, make it great. That's all I can say. So anyway, take it easy, guys. Cheers.